John just nailed it perfectly.
Yeah,
you want to improve that number? Take the chance on not giving the ball back to Josh Allen, not putting the fate.
And by the way, man,
increasing your odds. Jeff, real quick, what'd you make of the week 1 games, brother? The crazy game last night. Packers looked pretty good. The Chiefs, I don't know. They got the Eagles got them in week 2 in Arrowhead. I don't think they looked too hot in the Brazil game. What'd you make of week 1, brother? Some of your takeaways.
I'll tell you what, it was a fun week 1 Sunday. The 1 o'clock games were great. And then we got treated to, oh, by the way, Eagles fans know this all too well. This is what happens when you lose both coordinators. We saw it in Detroit, but I thought the biggest concern was their defensive line got no pressure. And their offensive line just looked terrible. And that's what happens when you replace multiple starters, including Frank Ragnow, including who else is gone from that team? Kevin Zeitler. There's, I think, Graham last
Graham had to move from guard to center.
That's right. That's right. Graham's the center.
You're impacting 3 positions on the interior. But my same as you. Aiden Hutchinson did not look like Aiden Hutchinson.
Not at all.
That is a big concern if I'm Detroit, because that was a very serious injury, obviously. And
you know who I said Detroit missed? Zadarius Smith.
Yeah.
Hey, they couldn't get a deal done. I was trying to explain to people on Friday, why is this guy still on the market? He must not be any good. I'm like, no, he's good. Him and Detroit just could not agree on money. They've been fighting over this for about a month or 2, and I think he just said, I had enough. I'm going somewhere else.
Well, let's start with the edge rushing. First, with Jay Glazer's report, 2 number 1s, a 3, a 5, amongst other things, Jeff Kerr, for your guy, Micah Parsons. By the way, that team, that was my overreaction from week 1. That team is now the hurdle in the NFC. Sorry. That is the team
they
have to overcome.
Is that an overreaction? I don't think that's an overreaction.
I don't think it's an overreaction, but obviously people on this show think it's an overreaction. They're the defending champions, Jeff Kerr.
Who is better than Green Bay that can compete with the Eagles?
Nobody.
I mean, I don't think the 49ers are. I watched a lot of that game yesterday.
They got lucky to win that game.
Yeah, Brock Purdy had a terrible throw. Tariq Woolen.
Tariq. Well, and I had a lot of Eagles fans. Go get Tariq Woolen. You don't want that guy.
Yeah.
He's got no ball skills whatsoever.
He had 2 really bad plays on that final drive.
Cost him the game.
Yeah,
cost him the game.
But it was a good game, though. And again, I'm a little higher. I was a little higher on Seattle than most teams were going in. I actually picked them with the points. I said, okay, plus 2.5. Yeah, I will take that. They didn't, obviously. But they played, I thought, really well. And I thought their offensive line really hurt Darnold, which is why I didn't get the Darnold signing. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, they were going to win the game. And,
they were.
Nick Bosa had the big pass rush and all of a sudden pushed the right tackle into Sam Darnold, strip sack, game over. But that, to your point about, boy, man, that ball, that was one of the worst throws I saw, the Brock Purdy throw, which should have been intercepted by anyone who had any concept.
There were at least 3 guys in the vicinity that could have picked that off.
And Tariq Woolen was just standing there and not going for the football. And he allowed, I forget the tight end's name, to just go over him and catch it.
I couldn't believe Purdy threw it. I thought it was an errant throw. And he had a couple errant throws in that game. That I mean, honestly, the big takeaway from that game for me was Robert Saleh is back as the defensive coordinator of the 49ers, and they are significantly better because of him.
Yeah, they have a weak schedule, so I think they're going to have a good chance to be a playoff team this year.
Tell you what, John, you want to hear my reaction from Sunday? The Bills already locked up home field advantage.
See, I'm not as high on the Bills
but they don't play anybody.
The Bill, well, yeah, they're going to win. Well, I in my predictions on the show, I said if you're going to guarantee one team wins their division, it's Buffalo, because the AFC. Miami might be the worst team in football.
Oh man, that was ugly.
Yeah. I kept them off my 5 worst teams, and I actually put the Colts on there. I made a mistake already, I think.
The Colts are good, man. The Colts are good.
Yeah.
They're not a good team. Trust me.
No, they're not.
The
But I'm
Dolphins
saying
are worse.
Shane Steichen has that. He had
Yep.
Daniel Jones. Working. I think that's one environment where if somebody's going to get the max out of Daniel Jones, you can.
Daniel Jones. I'm going to make
the guy to do it.
I'm going to make another bold week 1 overreaction. Ed Kratz, I hope you're watching. Daniel Jones with Shane Steichen is this year's Sam Darnold with Kevin O'Connell.
It's funny you said that, John. I was thinking something along those lines. Not maybe not.
There's always one quarterback every year that does this, whether it's Darnold or Geno or Baker. It just seems to be one guy, and this year it might be Daniel Jones.
Yeah. So that's one of my overreactions. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah. Well, I like how you mentioned our reactions, John, because I got to do this every Sunday for CBS. And by the way, they're a big hit. And that I ripped the Giants again on Sunday.
What are you doing, dude? What are you doing, Brian Daboll? Come on, just pull the trigger.
So that was
I assume you're talking about Russell Wilson, and my contention would be: do you want to put a rookie quarterback behind that offensive line? He's going to be cooked too.
Look, do you want your job or not?
Yeah, well, I hear you on that. I'm just trying to say, I don't know if you want to. You want to put your rookie quarterback behind there, man. You might get him killed.
Well, that's possible, but he can also move a little bit and create some things. And by the way, I wish Russell Wilson would retire because every game he plays, he gets further away from the Hall of Fame.
I know.
This guy was a no doubt Hall of Fame player. And every time he plays, you're like, I can't put this guy in Hall of Fame. That's another overreaction.
Before he went to Denver, he was a lock for the Hall of Fame.
Was a lock. And now he keeps ruining his reputation.
I do think it's funny. Like it used to be let Russ cook, and now it's Russ is cooked.
Yeah, Russ is definitely cooked, unfortunately for him. It is an overreaction month, guy. I mean, I think all of September, Sill says on the National Football Show, I think he's right. He says September is the liars month in the NFL.
Well, it is.
It is. It really is. So while there was a lot of good football and a lot of things to take away, I'm laying low. I want to see who continues to emerge, who looks good over the next 4 weeks, and then we'll see.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're Brian Daboll and you want to save your job, you got to get to Jackson Dart quickly.
You have to. I mean, you can't go James Winston.
He was non-committal on Russ being the starter for week 2, so it might be coming as soon as this week, guys.
Yeah, quickly.
Yeah, and you know what? I wasn't thoroughly impressed with Washington. I just think they beat a bad.
No, I don't think they played well, but I did. Debo, 2 things about Debo. One, he looked overweight. I don't know if he's wearing a black jacket or not, but he also looked pretty good. So I have to give him credit because I'm not a big Debo guy.
But Crosley Merritt, aka Bill, he looked pretty good yesterday.
Yeah. But overall, I wasn't impressed with Washington. Sort of a workmanlike win against a bad team. And that's fine. That's what you want to do in week 1.
So what did we think of Bills Ravens, guys?
Game of the year.
John and I were talking about last night. John called it as soon as they punted. He's like, the Bills are going to win. I said, yeah.
I mean, that was my biggest criticism. Look, when you lose a game like that, some things happen. The deflected ball, which is Derrick Henry never fumbles, he fumbles. You need some breaks to get back in the game. But I mean, when that happened, I love John Harbaugh as a coach, but he's too old school. This is the modern game. When you're playing, especially a team with a good quarterback, you can do that if you're playing a rookie quarterback or a young quarterback or Russell Wilson at this stage of his career. Cam Ward was just not good.
No.
You can do that, those guys. Against Josh Allen, you're punting the game away. You're punting the game away.
You know what, John? I feel like, because I've covered the Ravens before, they still have this mentality that defense runs their team, and Ray Lewis and Ed Reed are back there, and they're going to make a play to win the game, and that you can't do that anymore.
No, you can't. You can't. Consistently. Sometimes it will work. Sometimes you will make a play. But good offense beats good defense. That
what,
doesn't
John?
mean you can't win with good
Right.
defense. But that's the difference between the game now and the game it was in the past, where good defense wins championships, blah blah blah, and people will say, "Well, look what the Eagles did." I said, "Good offense,
Mhm.
not bad offense. Good."
Right.
I'll tell you what, I've covered way too many Ravens games. I followed this team for so long that I don't know if they'll ever be able to get over this hump just because too many things just seem to happen to them late in games. Like I put out a stat last night and people are already mad because it's quarterback stat. I don't care. Lamar Jackson is 59-9 when he's got a 7-point lead or more in the fourth quarter. For context, Josh Allen is 63-2, Patrick Mahomes is 69-2, Jalen Hurts is 37-1. Why is that the case? And it's not all Lamar's fault. Guys are turning the ball over in the red zone. Zay
But to
Flowers.
John's point, I mean, John just nailed it perfectly.
Yeah,
You want
it
to
is.
improve that number? Take the chance on not giving the ball back to Josh Allen, not putting the fate in
And
Josh
by the way,
increasing your odds.
Yep.
and by the way, when you have a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, it makes that sentiment even more egregious.
I
Look at the
agree.
Eagles when they need a first down and Jalen Hurts is in the mix as a runner. Look how they win the game against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They had the pass rush, undisciplined. He goes and gets the first down.
Yep. And then he went into a trip set, and everybody was like, "Oh, why would you do that?" I saw somebody broke this down on social media. It was a great breakdown, and he just uses it to his advantage. Goes and picks up the first down with his legs, easy.
That's what I don't get. You have Lamar Jackson, you have Derrick Henry, you have that offensive line. I mean, what are you afraid? Derrick Henry's going to fumble the ball again? Are you afraid Lamar's going to fumble the ball? I just don't get. How does Lamar only throw one pass, by the way, in the last 7 minutes of that game? One.
It's just an old school mentality, and unless he gets over it, yeah, they're gonna. And I pick them to win the Super Bowl every year.
I picked them to
One
go.
of these years, I'm gonna be right, and it might be this year. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's week 1 on the road against one of the other significant contenders, and you should have beat them.
And Buffalo's very good, by the way.
John Harbaugh's got to get the hell out of the way. And when if you think about Sean McDermott, why doesn't Josh Allen have a Super Bowl? Well, you could look at Sean McDermott, who can't navigate 13 seconds at the end of a game.
The Bills can't beat the Chiefs, and the Ravens can't beat the Bills and the Chiefs.
Well, I think everybody can beat the Chiefs now.
Well, yeah. That was my takeaway from that game. These two teams are miles ahead of the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Herbert looked real good in that game. What'd you guys make of the Commanders? A lot of hype on the Commanders coming into the year. I know they played the lowly Giants, but what was your take on the Commanders and how they looked this weekend?
I just said I think workman-like performance against a bad team. I didn't think
Jaden was too impressive.
No, he didn't.
I mean, it was. I thought Debo looked better than I expected. He was impactful. I thought he also looked overweight. I don't know what's going on there.
It might have been a flak jacket, John.
It might have been a flak jacket. Because he looked good playing. So Zach Ertz got a touch. A lot of ex-Eagles by Kenny Gainwell made a big play on special teams. Kenny looked good in that Pittsburgh game.
Kenny's the reason why that rookie isn't playing in Pittsburgh. Dylan Johnson.
Yeah. Darren Kennard had to come in when Zach Tom got hurt, had a couple big blocks for Green Bay.
Josh Jobe had a good game yesterday.
Josh Jobe, yeah. He was better than Tariq Woolen. I'll tell you that.
He was.
Yeah, a lot of ex-Eagles showing up yesterday. No, I wasn't impressed by Washington, but week 1, never in doubt, pretty much. Not that it's any great shakes, but defense played well against a pathetic offensive team. The two coaches, Brian Daboll, Mike McDaniel, they might as well,
who gets fired first?
They might as well update the resume.
Yeah.
Cooked. McDaniel, it looks like that team's checked out on him. He's got to go. And by the way, Tua's probably the most overrated quarterback in the NFL. It's such a weird guy because he's got great arm talent, and if his back foot hits the ground and everything's perfect and the first read works, he's unbelievable. But the minute it goes sideways in any way, he's lost completely lost.
It's amazing. There's got to be a 30 for 30 Sunday on him and Jalen Hurts, and that day at Alabama when Tua came in for him, because I even made the joke. I'm like, they just benched the better quarterback. What are they doing?
Yeah, but that, you know, I don't know. I was at Alabama during that time. You got to remember they had 4 receivers on that roster that went to the NFL. Like their offense was built to move.
Well, their whole team pretty much went to the NFL.
No, but I'm saying their offense specifically at that time, early Saban era, he ran the ball and had great defenses. That's how he won football games. I mean, he had AJ McCarron and Blake Sims and Jake Coker going to national titles. When Jalen was there, they had such a different offense that arm talent that John just said, you know, it worked so much better for.
Yeah, I don't have a problem. The decision that Tua was a better quarterback at that moment.
Jalen got better.
Yeah, Jalen has gotten consistently better.
Yeah,
I mean, consistently.
Do you guys want a fun stat? So Lincoln Riley, I have to remember all the quarterbacks that Lincoln Riley had at Oklahoma, but it was like Baker Mayfield, Jalen, Kyler
Spencer
Murray.
Rattler.
Spencer Rattler was one of them. There was another one in there. I forget the 5th, but they all started week 1 on yesterday.
Yeah, they had a lot of good things cooking at Oklahoma, not so much at Southern Cal.
No, I think that was a mistake when he left.
Yeah.
I think he had set at Oklahoma.
Yeah, Oklahoma beat Michigan, I think, didn't they?
They did beat Michigan. Michigan looked terrible. Sorry, Martin Frank.
Jeff, how much of an impact does the addition of Zadarius Smith make for the Philadelphia Eagles?
I'll tell you what, Zander, I wrote about this Friday. I was like on fumes when this happened. I was more than excited to see that they got him, because this is a player I thought they needed personally, just for depth, at the very least depth. But I was not impressed with the pass rush on third. I thought Josh Uche was their best pass rusher, John.
So do I. Yeah, and he had a couple nice pass rushes.
I mean, this guy, I think he can make an impact for this team. I thought he was a very productive player for Detroit last year. And everybody's like, well, he had Aiden Hutchinson next to him. I'm like, actually, he didn't, because Aiden Hutchinson.
No, he didn't. Yeah.
No, he was really good for them. So, and it looks like he's still got some gas left in the tank. I think it's going to take him about a couple weeks, but I think Zadarius Smith's really going to help that locker room too.
If the same guy shows up, he's their best pass rusher, edge rusher. Their best.
Yep.
So I think it's a big improvement. I think it was a needed improvement. I'd rather have Micah Parsons, but
yeah, me too. I still rather have Trayvon Walker, but I'd really rather have both. That's probably ruled out now. Do you guys agree? Like, do you think this is the move? This is the
move.
Okay.
Now, if he completely falls on his face, if he's Robert Quinn, everything's a fluid situation.
By the way, Jacksonville, again, they played a bad football team too. I was impressed with what Jacksonville was able to do yesterday. And I know it was Carolina.
Because, Jeff, I'm rooting for Jacksonville to start 0-6 so that they start shopping Trayvon Walker.
I'll tell you what, Zander, Tennessee's in that division. That is not happening.
It ain't happening.
I wouldn't get to it, because Carolina's in that conversation again to be the worst team in football. I mean, they're at this point, I feel kind of bad for Bryce Young. Even though he hasn't, doesn't deserve excuses, but that is just a bad football team.
They're horrible. I still can't believe they can't fix the wide receiver position.
Well, and they traded Thielen at the only guy who knows how to play, so they're screwing Bryce Young even more. Now he wanted out and all that kind of stuff, but sometimes you just got to play the heavy, and he's a professional. He would have helped him. So I don't know, if you're looking at worst teams, overreaction, Carolina, Miami, Giants. Those are the 3 worst teams I saw.
Yesterday was I picked I always do this right after the draft, just because I always like to wait till guys are.
New England was terrible again.
Oh, New England sucked, by the way.
Yeah.
But I always go right after the draft. I pick 5 rookies that I think are going to have an immediate impact, are going to be good right away. And Emeka Egbuka was number 1. Boy, did I want to pat myself on the back for that.
He looks good, man. I like that. I always like that situation for him, because he's got such a good quarterback for a rookie receiver.
That was another. They did not play well in that game. And that's another one where
Atlanta should have won that game.
Yeah, they should have won the game, and Baker gets the ball at the end, and you're like, this is going to
Yeah,
be a
one
problem.
take I might get wrong is I said I'm not a big fan of Michael Penix. He might develop into a pretty good player.
Michael Penix isn't bad.
No, he's not bad at all. I was definitely he's not bad at all.
And
I don't know what he becomes, but I think he's got the tools to get to where
I like the situation he's in because he's got in my opinion, a good offensive line. He's got enough skill position players, and I think he has an offensive coordinator in Zach Robinson that's going to help him.
Well, I mean, Bijan is a problem, but
that's
they
how
seem
they got Bijan.
Yeah. Drake, I think Drake London got hurt. They got a lot of skill position people. Yeah, they should battle for that division. I don't know if they will. Overall,
remember they swept Tampa last year.
Yeah. Overall, I wasn't impressed with the way Tampa played in that game, but yeah, Baker, you give him a chance at the end, he's probably going to win it. But I don't think Tampa played that well. And I don't think Baker played that well until the end. But yeah, Egbuka was pretty impressive. And obviously, that wasn't that. But they change coordinators every year because, Dave Canales, Liam Cohen, and now who's their coordinator? I don't even know.
That's a good question. I didn't look that up. Yeah, I always forget Liam Cohen was in Jacksonville. Him and your boy James Gladstone is the GM.
James, yeah. Josh Grizzard is there.
Josh Grizzard, that's who it is. Yeah.
So I don't know how that's going to work out. We'll see. That's always a difficult situation. But Baker's he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks, I would say, in the NFL. Even though he wasn't great.
No, he wasn't great yesterday, but he did throw 41 touchdowns last year.
He's been good the last couple
probably going to have a big number this year too, honestly.
And Kellen Moore and the Saints, he's up against it. He's another bad team, but
you know what? I know Eagles fans don't like the Bucs. They are a likable team. The Bucs are a really likable team.
Yeah. By the way, Spencer. Oh, Kyler Murray. Did you mention him as the Oklahoma guy?
Yeah. Kyler Murray was the one I mentioned. I'm trying to think. There's a fifth in there, and I'm just trying to remember those Oklahoma years.
Spencer Rattler threw it 46 times, which is not, and had 214 passing yards.
That's all you need to know.
My Lord. So yeah, there's a lot of bad teams, but Carolina, Miami, New Orleans. Yeah.
The Browns.
Well, the Browns actually look pretty good.
I know. Well, they should have won. They should have won yesterday. I know. They kicked him as a field goal late.
It's amazing. You can play to 100 in this league now with the rule changes and the way they protect quarterbacks. If you know how to play quarterback, and Joe Flacco knows how to play quarterback.
Joe Flacco outplayed Joe Burrow yesterday.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Also,
Joe Burrow did not play well.
Also, I love Bengals fans. I'd rather have a quarterback that throws for 300, 400 yards and do what Joe Burrow does than what Jalen Hurts does. Well, you had a Jalen Hurts passing yardage performance from Joe Burrow and you got the win. I think you'd rather take that.
That's true. It's a good point, Jeff Kerr. Yeah. Not often you see that. But again, the same thing with since at one point they had 3 consecutive sacks. 2 of them were from Myles Garrett.
Cleveland's defense is going to be good this year again.
That same old issues with Cincinnati. Brutal offensive line. Brutal.
Unserious franchise.
People don't build the right way. They, everybody talks about the Eagles doing this, the Eagles doing that, and they don't copy what the Eagles do well. And that's offensive line, defensive front.
You know why, John? I think these teams, just from talking to people, they think it's Jeff Stoutland, but it was before Jeff Stoutland.
Well, a lot of it is Jeff Stoutland, but you know what? Because the Eagles didn't have a storied history of all pros and Pro Bowl offensive linemen until Jeff got here. But
they had some good offensive linemen, though.
No, yeah, they did. But obviously it really started with Andy, Trey Thomas and John Runyon and trying to get better. But then they just amped it up in the Stoutland era where they have all pros, Pro Bowls. Twice they've had all 5 of their offensive linemen have gotten either all pro recognition, Pro Bowl or at least were a Pro Bowl alternate, which is ridiculous.
Is there ever going to be consideration for Jeff Stoutland to potentially make the Hall of Fame?
Well, they don't put assistant coaches in.
I know, and they should. I don't understand why.
I mean, he got the Lifetime Achievement Award for assistant coaches, the Dr. Z Award. Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty much the highest you can go as an assistant. Yeah. Unfortunately,
you guys have
if they ever do, he'd be in the conversation, no doubt.
Yeah, I agree. Do you guys have any couple days later now from that Eagles game? It was Thursday night. Football Friday is a little bit of a different reaction than a Monday morning. What kind of evolved takes have you guys had on just the Eagles' performance in that Week 1 game? I think one of the things a lot of people are talking about is that linebacker room and how good they looked in that football game. And hey, maybe that helps that Vic Fangio defense make up for any deficiencies they have, whether on the edge or in the cornerback room. Where's your guys' head at on that Eagles Thursday night win?
I mean, for me, I still can't get over how well Jalen played Thursday night. I mean, he was 6 for 6 on third down for 81 yards. And he ran for a touchdown. I think 7 carries for 32 yards and a touchdown on third down, too. I'm just amazed on how well he played and how poised he looked. It's
amazing because I had the same takeaway. Leaving the game, Jeff, I said, wow, he played a really good game. And, if you just look at the stats and you just look at the black and white game book, you go, well, he didn't play that well. I don't know how to explain this guy anymore because it's like
he wins.
They had one completion of over 10 yards in the entire game. One, the deep shot to Jahan Dotson. That's it. For balls that went 10 or more yards down the field. And I came out of that game, thinking, wow, he had a great game.
Yeah.
I can't explain it at this point. He is so rare, so unique.
I got to share this story. I didn't get to share it Friday, but I was talking to Dotson after the game on Thursday. And I said, you just get into the mindset here with Jalen and like what he's reading when he sees like AJ and Devontae are just they're not open or, whatever defense is. And he literally told me this. So Jalen pretty much, he read the defense in the first quarter and he goes, okay, too high. They're playing quarters. I'm going when the opportunity comes, just be ready. And he gave a signal. This is the time. And I think Jahan initially thought he overran it or didn't run a great route at first until he watched it. And he said, Jalen just on the money. It wasn't even, he said, it's just like they did when they worked out in Houston. And I'm like, man, I think that's it, John. I think that explains everything. It's like, you can't explain it, but this is the stuff Jalen does.
He's great, and he is such a great deep ball thrower. He's just got a knack for it. One of the best in football, arguably the best deep ball thrower in football. Which has got to do, I think a lot of people think it's got to do with arm strength. It's got nothing to do with arm strength. They can all throw the ball 40, 50 yards down the field. It's got to do with ball placement, placing it in the bucket, so to speak, giving the wide receiver an opportunity sometimes to run under it. It takes a real feel chemistry to do it. He's tremendous at it.
And it's something he really works on.
Yeah. But yeah, it's such a unique player, and everybody tries to grade everybody the same way. It's like if you needed him to throw for 350 yards, he's not your quarterback. For the Philadelphia Eagles, he's your quarterback.
Yeah, it's he's not gonna I know a lot of people like to tease this, but Josh Allen threw for 251 yards in the fourth quarter last night. And they're like, well, it's more than Jalen Hurts did on Thursday. I'm like, well, okay, but look at the situation here. The Eagles were not down 15 points in the fourth quarter either.
Yeah, I mean, there's, Joe Burrow didn't do it. So if you want to pick out one game, everybody had. Joe Burrow had 113 passing yards. Does that mean he's a bad quarterback?
Not at all.
He didn't have a good game. I'll say that.
Yeah, they won the game. I mean, that's better than what they normally do in week 1.
That's true.
They lost to the
I think Joe
Patriots
said that
last year
after the
week
game.
1.
He said normally we lose these types of games. So
Yeah.
Yeah, he did say that. And
yeah, I saw that.
And like people are just ripping the Bengals. I'm like, you guys do know the Bengals lost to the Patriots in week 1 last year. This is a win.
Yeah. Joe Flacco, baby.
I love
It's amazing this league lets Joe Flacco continue to not only play, but start because they can't get these young quarterbacks up to speed. That is a indictment of coaching, first and foremost. So when you get a quarterback that can play, hold on to him like grim death.
You know what I enjoyed last night? Watching Matt Prater before he kicked. It looked like he just got off the plane.
He did. He looks.
Oh yeah, he did get off the plane Thursday.
First of all, Matt looks like he's 55. He's like 41.
He's still in his 40s.
And nobody's made more big kicks over the last decade or so. Speaking of kickers, Chris Boswell, my God.
Yeah, he's a freak. I actually said to a couple Steelers writers yesterday, I'm like, boy, I feel bad I left Chris Boswell off my top 30 players over 30 years old. And they're like, you probably forgot he was 30. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I put a kicker on there. It was Aubrey. It wasn't him. And
Aubrey's great, but Boswell's more consistent. Boswell's better.
Aaron Rodgers, man, what a performance! What a debut!
That dude can just play. Granted, he's a lunatic, but similar to Joe, but even at a much higher level. I mean, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is just. I realize nobody likes him from a personal level, and I get it because he acts like a
moron.
A moron a lot of the time. But boy, when it comes to playing quarterback, you give that guy time. You're in trouble.
This is my favorite thing about Aaron Rodgers. He says he has nothing bad to say about the Jets organization.
And
whole entire, and then he just rips them after he throws 4 touchdowns off them.
Yeah. And by the way, the Jets should have won the game.
Yes,
again. They don't. Yeah.
I thought Justin Fields was kind of right after the game where he's like, I know we lost, but the fact that we put up 32, I think is something we can build on. I was surprised to see that score. That game was so
well, that's the best game probably he's ever played.
I'm saying, I agree. Justin Fields, I didn't think he had that in him.
Yeah. By the way, for anybody who thinks Jalen Ramsey is old, and I'm one of them, there's why you got Jalen Ramsey that 4th down. He knocked that ball right out of Garrett Wilson's hands. Textbook.
Yeah. Garrett Wilson's got to hold on to that, though.
Yeah, you want to be a top receiver in football, you got to hold that.
Yeah. That Boswell kick would have been good from 70. Somebody's got to test these kickers. Something's going on.
I know, man. These kickers are booting that ball.
I remember when David Akers made a 63-yard field goal, we were all going nuts because, like, that just doesn't happen.
Now it's nothing now.
Yeah.
Nothing.
He's got Jake Elliott's booming 70-yarders in training camp.
What is the background of these kickers? Are they like getting more soccer players or something? Like, I wonder if they've changed the way they look for kickers in the NFL, as opposed to just getting a guy who's kicked his whole life.
I mean, they made that change in the 80s to, usually Mark Mosley, for those old school football fans, one was the MVP.
Former MVP Mark Mosley.
And he was a straight ahead kicker, which, back in those days, you had a lot of them. He was one of the last that would kick the ball with their toe straight out, not the soccer style.
Right.
So
they made that change long ago. But now
I remember Scott Norwood used to have like the biggest leg in the NFL. I know everybody likes to tie Scott Norwood with wide right, but he was a really good kicker for a lot of years.
Guys, even Jake Elliott's kick on Thursday night. Now, I don't know how long it would have been, but that thing looked like it was good for another 8-10 yards. That thing was booted on a 58-yarder. I thought it was like that would have been good from 65, 70 maybe.
I think I texted you, John, after he made the kick. I'm like, well, Jake's back.
Yeah, that was a boot from Jake Elliott.
And Jake's not a big guy.
No.
It's an athlete, though.
He's a great athlete. But he's great at everything. But these guys just I don't know where the power comes from. Because Boswell's not a big guy either. And just
they changed the ball or something? Like what's the difference?
Well, they have changed the ball, but I don't think it has to do with the ball. Might be a juice ball. like
I
baseball.
don't know. I'm just wondering. I'm just
ball.
looking for any variables
Dude.
that are possible to
Yeah,
kickers
dude.
booting at 70 yards.
To me, what I don't know about you, Jeff. I don't know if you're watching. I was watching Red Zone, so I'm watching the play. I go, Boswell's making this. It's 60-yard kick outdoors in the Meadowlands. Everybody talks about the Meadow. It's early, but not the easiest place to kick. I go, he's making this, and it was dead center.
Oh, yeah,
60 yards.
He drilled it. I came in the Sunday starting watching Steelers Jets, and normally because I got Sunday ticket, and I'm always flipping. You could do the 4 games at once on Sunday ticket, so I had that. I just couldn't get my eyes off Steelers Jets. I was amazed I was watching. It was a shootout.
Yeah, it was an entertaining game. Yeah,
there were a lot of close games late in that 1 p.m. window.
That's the key to the NFL's, man. I've always said it. All the games come down, not all the games, obviously, but so many games come down are 1 possession games late. And there's such excitement and such everybody's on the edge of their seat, and they forget they watch shitty football for 55 minutes.
Yeah,
that is the key to it all.
Everybody's like, what a great week 1. I'm like, well, depending on what you think a great week 1 of football.
You got to remember, week 1 is clouded because everybody just wants to see football back on the TV.
But there were a lot of close games, a lot of witching hour games, as Scott Hansen would call them.
Also, the whole ad thing was way overblown by people, including Scott Hansen.
It's business.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't. I mean, they bought.
I almost took a picture. I'm like, heaven forbid, there's the Verizon ad. It's taken off from your play with 7:54 left in the first quarter.
Well, it's the world we live in, guys. These people are paying how much to air NFL game. I mean, come on. If a company has X amount of viewers on a program, they got to monetize it. They're going to monetize it. It's just the nature of the beast. I wouldn't be surprised if it starts year 1 with the 60 seconds or whatever they had, and then it's full blown ads.
Yeah, it's going to be full blown at some point. You're right. It is a slippery slope, but
it's a business, guy. I have no problem with it, though. I mean, look. I make my living on ads, so maybe I'm a little bit more biased to it.
Well, no, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. Like everybody makes their money on that. That's how you get in the radio. That's how you get.
That's how That's how media operates. That's how we have jobs. Is ads. So maybe I'm biased toward it, but it doesn't bother me.
Yeah. I had a smart business owner told me, and I'm telling you, he's a really smart business owner. He said, just remember, for anybody that asks how so and so gets on this or so and so gets on that, there's someone backing them. There always is.
Right. It's true. It's a good way to look at it. Jeff, we got to run. We got Chris Franklin coming up. Your final thoughts on week 1 as the Eagles now prep for week 2 versus the Chiefs going to Arrowhead.
Give me your biggest overreaction. Week 1, I gave mine. Give me yours.
Oh, man, because I made it. Yeah, because I do this every Sunday. So what was my biggest overreaction of the 12 I did? The Lions window is done.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I like it. Well, that's
John's was that the Packers are now the team to beat in the NFC.
I don't think that's far-fetched after what I watched on Sunday.
See, Jeff doesn't even think it's an overreaction.
I mean, look.
They're probably a good football team, but I'm having a hard time.
Everybody just goes nuts because I love Micah Parsons and I went to Penn State. I'm telling you, you do not trade Micah Parsons. And if the Eagles would have got Micah Parsons, I don't know if I'd ever pick them to lose a game. I'm dead serious.
I've been telling people about Micah Parsons, and I didn't go to Penn State. And obviously, I criticize Penn State, as Jeff knows, every chance I get.
Especially on Saturday when Drew Allen is like garbage.
Every chance I get. Part of it is shtick because there's so many Penn State fans, so I like to needle them around here. But I'm not a big fan. That dude can play. And if he were on the Philadelphia Eagles, I'd already be planning for where are we going? San Jose, wherever the hell.
Santa Clara.
Santa Clara, thank you. I'd already be planning for that. In Green Bay, look, injuries can derail anybody, but that's baked into it. But if they stay healthy,
it'll be a problem.
Big problem.
They do have a lot of weapons too on offense, man. They got guys everywhere. They got
Oh,
like every
Matthew
time a new guy
Matthew
catches the
Golden was a
football,
great
like,
pick.
holy shit, where did he come from? They got
Yeah.
Wicks and they got Dobbs and they got Matthew Golden.
Shaden Reed's
Tucker Kraft,
healthy.
Aiden Reed. They got dudes
Golden.
everywhere on that offense.
Tucker Kraft's on that team.
Yeah, Tucker Kraft. Yep.
Josh Jacobs, big time back. Offensive line's
They
great.
have underrated offensive linemen. It's like you never hear about them, but they're actually good. Like Zach Tom.
Let's see how consistent Jordan Love can be, because that's my biggest.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to get more consistent if they play from the freaking lead like they did yesterday.
It's true.
Yeah.
You know, half of that inconsistency deals with you're trying to come back from deficits. Like they were down 4 touchdowns in the game last year and lost, but they lost like 28-27 because he brought them back. You know.
Nate Burleson brought this up to me when we were talking at the CBS up front. We were talking about pretty much every team. And I mentioned the Packers and, you know, how he thinks the Packers are because they couldn't beat any 10-win teams or 11-win teams last year. And he said, you know what, Jeff? He said, this is how I always looked at them. You could make a case they were outside of the Eagles. They were the hottest team going in the playoffs. And they were the 7th seed. And they were playing really well going in there. And Jordan Love was playing really well. And the Eagles just took them to school. He said, that's when I knew the Eagles might go to the Super Bowl. And they might win the Super Bowl. But he said, the Packers, if they would have been the Eagles, he said, they might have made a deep playoff run of their own.
When do we play the Packers? Week 10?
Week 10. Monday Night Football at Lambeau.
That's going to be good.
I'm not talking about last year's Packers. The Eagles were better than last year's Packers. I'm not talking about last year's Packers.
Yeah, but a lot of the players on that team were back.
Packers.
Yeah, but a lot of the players on that team were back. That's what he was getting at. And this was before they got Micah.
Yeah. That's the point. And, you know, the Eagles are obviously a work in progress defensively. But Jahad Campbell, man, boy, that's another indictment in the NFL. Oh, I'm not going to take Jahad Campbell because he's not going to be there week 1. Who gives a shit? And he ended up being there
week 1.
Yeah,
he was there. It's not even like we had to wait.
Yeah. But that's the whole mentality of the teams that passed on him. Oh, he's not going to be there week 1.
Well, that's why these teams don't win championships. It's like I always say, everybody lets good players fall to the Ravens. Everybody lets good players fall to the Eagles, too.
Yep. I told that story.
Year.
A former general manager, the Carter year when they drafted Carter, and I texted him, and I said, "What do you think?" And he didn't get back to me, which I didn't think was that big of a deal because, you know, he's busy on draft night. I figured he'd get back to me a couple days, whatever. And then they picked Smith at 30, and he got back to me, and he said, "Just start. Are you effing kidding me? You know, what these people are just letting good players get to the Eagles." In the case of Carter,
I almost did it Thursday night. I almost did. I held back because I don't like the guy, Albert Breer. I think he's an idiot sometimes. I thought he was a really big idiot when he said, and that's why Jalen Carter fell to 9. People seem to forget that. I almost tweeted, you are an effing idiot. Like, go take that Ohio State education. And
there we go. Now we know why you don't like Albert.
That's the most Penn State comment I've ever heard right there.
He is the worst type of person. Boston and Ohio State.
Take your Ohio State education. That is classic. Jeff Kerr, gotta love it. Appreciate you, brother, for joining in today. We'll talk to you again next week. All right, my man.
Yeah, it sounds great, guys.
All right, thanks, Jeff.